Prophet of thought.
Get ready.
Open your mind.
Lady Cat, Lady Class, Lady Kendra, the Unicorn 4.
Open your mind.
You know. Thursday. Unicorn 4.
Open your mind.
Lady Class, Lady Kendra, Lady Cat, Lady the Unicorn 4.
Open your mind.
Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.L.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you're here. And of course, it's Thursday night once again. It's like they come so quick, but once again, it's Thursday night, the night that we have the Unicorn 4 live and direct up in here. T.L.O.T, the ladies of thought. Got a bit of bad news for y'all. Well, actually, bad news and good news. The bad news is Lady Cats won't be joining us tonight. She wrote me earlier this week. She said, Brother X, I ain't gonna be able to come because I got shit to do. So Lady Cats ain't gonna be here tonight. But the good news is I have a mystery unicorn on the lineup. I might even have two. I'm trying to finagle it for y'all. I'm trying to keep the table full. So I'm still working on it. But I do have a mystery unicorn because y'all know I love hitting y'all to the head with surprises. So don't worry. The table will be full. Won't let it be a 3-letter table. We'll go ahead and we'll rock out in old Lady Cat's honor. You know? Yeah. Also, my donors, I want to thank y'all for y'all donations the other night when I was up here with the notorious ARC up here just kicking the shit. I mean, ARC, man, he's that's a real dude, man. I mean, I had fun with him up here last night. Last night I got a few donations. You folks who donated, you know who you are. Because I always shoot y'all an email. I've been slacking on the email. It's been taking me like a week to get back to y'all because I've been busy, but y'all know I always write y'all back and thank y'all for your contribution. And it's not a chain email. I sit down and actually write each and every one of you an email, whether it's 5 of y'all or 500 of y'all. I will sit down, write you a personal email, and thank you for your contribution, because you don't have to give your hard-earned money to this platform, but you see value in it. So I think at the very least, I can take the time out and write you a damn personal email thanking you for giving me your hard-earned money. So those of you who donated last night, you know who you are. I thank you. because everything you give me, I take it and I recycle it and I put it right back into the old TPOT machine. And pretty soon y'all gonna start seeing, what we've been doing. I mean, things has been kind of picking up. I've been really busy, y'all. A lot's been going on. I've been really busy. So, I'm trying to make things happen, and I want y'all to see the final. I think y'all are going to be proud of the final product. I really do. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. So tonight we're going to myself and the ladies, we're going to be talking about winners and losers. And when you talk about winners and losers, that encompasses many things. We're going to be talking about the winners and losers in life, love, finance, all of that. Shoot, we might even get into the winners and losers in media. I mean, we're gonna get into all of that. So, stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a good show tonight. Right now, I'm actually sitting here and I'm reaching out to my mystery unicorns right now. We're running a little behind y'all because my black ass don't know how to be on time. I don't know what being on time is most of the time, but yeah, we usually get it together. So right now I'm reaching out to my mystery unicorns. Let me see if I can get in contact with them. Because I have one. I have one mystery unicorn. I was trying to get y'all two. I was trying. I was really, really trying. Let's see. Go ahead and hit some folks up. Gotta hit Teach up too. Get in contact with her. Mm-hmm. And yeah, last night, man, brother Black Ram dropped by as well, man. Last night was all right, man. I got to kick the shit, man, with two of the realest brothers on here, man. So last night was kind of nice, man. Last night was all right. I went from ARC to Black Ram 313. Don't get no better than that. It just doesn't get any better than that, y'all. Let me see what the hell is going on. Lady Classic, I see you down there.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, what's
Am
going
I
on?
first? I've never been first.
Yeah, you beat Lady Ming. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my God, look at me. And I'm normally last to everything because I'm
That
normally the
never
latest person ever.
happens. Well, Lady Ming probably tied up because I'm telling you, Lady Ming be on here and I'll be still like setting up the music and doing all of that. She already be here. So she must be tied up. She must be tied up. Um
Mm-hmm.
I I was telling the folks, I don't know if you heard, but Lady Cat says she can't be on tonight. She got something she has to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do have a stand-in because you know me, I'm always working behind the scenes, and I
Okay.
am trying to get in contact with a mystery unicorn right now. I'm not telling y'all who it is, just in case the ass don't show up. Just in case they decide not to show up. But I have been reaching out to them, so I want to see, if they're gonna come through or not. Actually, I'm working on two mystery unicorns. I had two in the stack. I always keep somebody, on the stack just in case, somebody don't show up. I can throw a little surprise in there, for the folks, jazz it up a little bit, mix it up a little bit. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So tonight, as you know, we'll be talking about winners and losers. I guess we can go ahead and get started while we wait for the gang to file in. Um, I guess we'll start off with talking about losers. Um, I don't know what necessarily, because we use that, we throw that term around a lot as black folks. We throw a lot of terms around a lot, and we throw the term loser around a lot. We call someone a loser, if they don't have money. Lady Kendra, I see you down there. Look at you.
Oh,
Get out
girl,
of
you
here.
changed it. Yes. Oh,
Get
I
out of
love it. I
here.
love it. I love it. I
You
love
know
it.
that shit
Yes.
stolen. Yeah, that's stolen.
Yes.
That is straight
Mm.
stolen. Yeah, that's stolen. Um, we
Oh,
throw
that's
that term
perfect.
around a lot. And we say it about people who don't have money. We say it about people who don't have sense. We say it about people who don't have women. We say it about a lot of things. So when you ladies think loser, what what what's your definition of a loser? Whether it be male or female. What do you think a loser is?
Hmm. Well, for me, a loser is someone who ain't about shit. Basically, they might look like they are on the surface, but normally they're not about anything. They don't stand for anything. And when I say the word follower, because I don't think there's anything wrong inherently with following in someone's lead or following a trend or whatever. It's more the kind of follower, someone who is following things and um, trading in on things and showing interest or feigning interest in things, and it's all with the goal of trying to get someone's attention, for people to pat them on the head and say, "Good doggy, you're so awesome." um it's someone who isn't responsible for themselves, for their choices, for their decisions. So as a result, they can never be about building and growing, and they don't even know what that is. If anything, what they want to do is they want to fake it. Everything is about, the get rich quick schemes, because they got to get rich quick and now, because again, it's all about um, what it looks like on the surface, never about what it is deeper inside. So yeah, they ain't got nothing. They're not about anything. They're never going to be about anything. And it's all because at the end of the day, they don't stand for anything, because they don't really know who they are, which is why they don't know what they're about.
Hmm, okay.
Okay, so are we defining who is a loser or
What
what a
is a
loser is?
loser?
A
Yeah, what's a
loser
loser?
to me, a loser to me is someone who is not only not succeeding, but also not trying. Um, and this can be in any aspect. I mean, because you can win and lose at anything. Some winning is defined as a standard, and some winning you define personally. But a person who is a chronic loser is someone who doesn't put forth the necessary effort to meet a goal, to succeed in whatever it is that they feel like they want to succeed in. Um, they don't put forth the proper efforts. They want someone to maybe hand them or give them the answer, or just for it to happen for them, without really taking on the qualities of someone who succeeds or meets their goals. Whether the goal is simple or complex, a loser can't meet them because they don't have good work ethic. Um, they don't place value on the proper things. Priorities are usually not in order. You want to be successful in school, but you can't stop drinking and partying every weekend until oblivion. You know what I mean? So then you can't study. And if you don't study, you don't pass the class. You don't get you see where I'm going. So a loser, like I said, someone who just is, then they're not putting forth the proper effort to do things. Even when the blueprint is laid out before them and they're being told this is how you succeed at XYZ. And they whine and bitch and complain, and then when they don't get it, it's everyone else's fault. It's not anything that they could have done about it. Insecurities accompany losing, whining accompanies losing, having a sense of entitlement is it accompanies a losing mentality. So, people who are losers carry that mentality around. And if they want to be winners, they have to ditch that mentality and they have to acquire a winning mentality. So that's my definition.
Yeah, well, I know that when I was young, I was a loser. I was a loser. If I think about what I am now, looking at myself now and looking back when I was, say, in my 20s, I guess I could be defined as a loser. I didn't have any direction. I didn't own nowhere near the shit I own now. I definitely didn't have as much money as I do now. Didn't have my own home like I do now, so I was like a loser. I was just kind of flowing through life, figuring it out. I guess that's kind of what when you're a young loser, that's kind of how it is. I think a lot of us are losers when we're young because we don't know what the hell we're doing, you know. As we grow and mature, I think we kind of grow. Well, let me rephrase that. We're supposed to grow out of that loser stage. Yeah, we're supposed to grow out of it. A lot of us don't, though. I know a lot of brothers that I went to school with, and you talking about brothers who are like in their late 40s, like me. They're still doing the same shit like that we were doing when we were like 22, 23. They're still doing the same shit. They're still kind of living the same life. Not much has changed in their life. I know brothers who are close to my age who still living with mama. They still living in mama attic. So, that would definitely be a loser in my eyes. If you're my age and you still living in mom's basement, I kind of think kind of go with calling you a loser. Because at some point in your life, you're supposed to be trying to, not for the sake of others, but for the sake of yourself, you're supposed to be trying to do a little better. You should be doing a little better in your 40s than you were doing in your 20s. That's just what I think. Because like I said, when I was in my 20s, I could be considered a loser. If I looked at a guy, I look at a guy now who is the way I was when I was 20, I think he was a loser. Because when I was 20, I didn't have shit. I didn't have anything. I didn't even have direction, let alone anything else. I didn't even possess direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have that. So I look at the 20-year-old me. I'm like, he's a loser. But I think sometimes we as Black folks, we have a tendency to I don't know what's going on with Lady Ming. I think something's going on with her Hangout or something like that. She's having a
Yeah,
problem
she
with her
said she
browser or
has
something.
to reset her phone. So
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times we may overuse the word loser. Because we thought as an insult, not so much as a description. We use it as an insult. Oh, you're a loser. We have a tendency to throw it. We throw it around a lot. That's one of those words that us Black folks will give it all kinds of meanings. We know what it really means, as you ladies just described just now. But we'll say it at anybody. We'll call somebody who got $5 million a loser. We'll call somebody who's doing really, really good in the world, far as financially. We'll call them a loser. So we as black people, we have a tendency to, we throw words around a lot, not for good or for bad, but I'm just saying we have a tendency to throw those words around a lot. People have called me a loser. People, oh man, you're a loser. And a lot of these people that have called me a loser, I could buy and sell their ass over and over and over again, for higher price each time. Each time I can buy and sell them at a higher price. But I've had people call, oh, X, you're a loser. Well, all right. I'm a loser that can buy and sell your black ass too, nigger hoe. But I think that the biggest losers, I believe, in black society, because here we talk about black folks. I think the biggest losers in black society oftentimes are children. And I say that not because they're doing something that makes them lose, but they often have people who are responsible for them that cause these children to lose. And when I say lose, I mean, I'm not talking about losing money or status or anything like that. When you're a kid, you don't have much of that. You're not in control of your life. You're not in control of how you live or the clothes you wear or the food you eat. You're not in control of that. Adults are. All right. Adults are in control of your life for the most part. And I think that many times adults have a tendency to do things. They do things that cause children to lose. They cause children to lose educational opportunities by not teaching these children certain things. They cause children to lose confidence, self-esteem. They cause them to lose those things because the things that we as adults have a tendency to say to the children, the way we criticize them and talk about children often, the abuse of children, the violence towards children causes them to kind of lose themselves. The abuse, the molestation causes these children to lose part of their identity, lose their innocence. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on about the things that children often lose because of adults, by no fault of their own, because they're children. And I think some of the biggest losers, I truly believe that some of the biggest losers in black society are black children. And it's because of us. It's not because of them. It's because of us and the shit we do to them, the shit we say to them, the shit we don't do for them, and a lot of the shit we allow to happen to them. What's you ladies take on that?
I mean, I would have to agree that a lot of times children are the victims of not being given the proper building blocks for life, not being taught um, how to get a work ethic, how to have good self-esteem, how to operate in the world where everything isn't hurting you, everyone isn't harming you, or you're not being vulnerable to every attack, whether that's a physical attack or a mental attack or an attack upon your character, things of that nature. And usually these children may have loser parents. So when the parent is a loser, I mean, you can't impart winning when you don't know how to do that. So,
Yep.
so if the parent themselves have issues with self-esteem. They have issues with abuse. They have issues with, being able to maneuver properly in the world, because there are a lot of adults that don't know how to maneuver in the world. They don't know. They live every day. They go about so-called their business every day, but it's unsuccessful. They don't get the best out of anything because they don't put the best in. Sometimes they don't know how. They don't know what putting the best foot forward even looks like. So they're unable to impart that to children. But I think sometimes, despite that fact, um, they can be winners anyway. Sometimes you go through that pressure and become a diamond rather than dust, and those, I think, are the true winners in life. When you can go through a bunch of stuff and come out the other end better than you probably would have been otherwise, those to me are the winners. So I think we have, even though we have a detriment in our community and a lot of things wrong with it, I think sometimes we need to look at it from a glass half full kind of way. We have a lot of winners too. It's a lot of kids that come through some of the worst situations, and they're bright, they are articulate, they are ambitious, and if given half a chance at anything, they'll succeed at it.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Um, and I just want to say, because I think the thing that we rarely think about, just to add a little bit, because I don't really have anything too much to add about the children themselves, but just to add the fact that I think sometimes what we forget is that the losers of today were the children of, adult losers who were born and raised and brought up and surrounded by a culture of losing. So, it's like we have this thing in our head, especially those of us who've gone through things and found a way of battling through to become something, to become someone, and to overcome. We have this thing in our heads, and especially those who never had to battle anything, where it's like you turn 18 and, well, you're an adult now, so you should know better. Well, there's a reason why we call things culture. It's passed down. You're indoctrinated into it. You are surrounded by it, not just with your own family, but with the families around you and the schools around you, the messages that are being sent to you in TV and movies and whatever. So, you got a bunch of kids who are literally being permeated by this culture of loserdom, telling them it's not even about a glass ceiling. It's just like, winning is for others. It's not about being super rich or whatever, just winning, succeeding, being something, being about something, getting across a finish line. That's for others. You don't do that. You lose. So, now they've gotten, and they don't see how messed up that is. They don't see how broken and twisted that is, because they get, to the age of 18 or 19 or 20. Who told them that that's messed up? Where are they getting that no, they're not born losers? There's actually, it's a saying, but there's really no such thing. So, I think that that's where there's a lot of complications coming in, because, losers who, are now adults, and they had parents who are losers, who had grandparents who are losers, and so on and so forth, and are in a neighborhood full of losers, and are in families full of losers. Well, they're going to have children. They don't realize that what they're passing down, either consciously or subconsciously, is setting their children up to be losers, because they don't see themselves as losers per se, not in the way that, we do, because they don't see that there's another option. So I think that, that's basically why we get these cultures of losers. And when you find someone is a loser, normally, if you look towards their parents and their family structures and the communities they were born in, what you're going to find is a really expansive culture of losing, and a mentality of losing, and a mentality that will never have you or anything that you do be successful.
Agree. Um, our mystery unicorn has arrived. What's good? What's good, Ashley W?
Let me take. Wait, am I? I took myself off mute, right?
Yes, you
Okay.
have.
Marilyn, greetings.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
What's going on?
Oh, oh, nothing.
Um, Lady Ming back with us. Lady Ming, you good?
Yes, I am. What's
Okay.
crack-a-lackin'?
What's going on? I was
Greetings,
wondering why I
greetings.
was about to stop the show and try to get the ghetto ghost out so I can get Lady Ming back up on here. You got beat tonight too. Lady Classic beat you. Ha ha.
I know I was
No, it's
first
me.
for once.
She beat you.
That's good.
Y'all ladies want to chime in on this? Lady Ming.
I didn't hear the question.
Um, I was talking about because I said that some of the biggest losers in life are black children by no fault of their own because of the things that happen to them because of us adults, the violence, the not rearing right, the molestation, the sexual abuse, and so on and so forth. I can go on and on and on. And I talked about how black children are usually the biggest losers in black society in that sense. And the ladies were chiming in on it. If you want to chime in on it too.
I agree. I agree that the children in that sense are the biggest losers. But then I would have to ask the question in for how long? Because now we start to cross over from kids being losers to adults that are losers because they never stop being kids that were losers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's only for so long that you're even able to put all the onus onto the parent to when it becomes not that important to whether or not you win or lose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Ashley, you want to chime in on that?
I agree. I speak about this a lot on my page because I personally find it very frustrating that we basically go around blaming, playing the blame game when these children come about and nobody is thinking about actually taking care of the children. We're sitting up here fussing and fighting about whose fault it is the children are here in the first place, instead of saying, hey, they're here. We have to do our jobs. Let's take care of them. That's irritating. And what people don't understand when we do that is and I implore people to think about this. How would you feel if your parents were sitting around bickering about why you're here? You're going to fail because you're not being raised properly. You're not even in an environment where you feel wanted. How are you going to feel as an adult? That those emotions, and to go back, is it Mina? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Ming.
Lady Ming.
What she was saying is that, what happens is a lot of people take all that hurt as children. Oh, my mommy didn't love me. My daddy didn't love me. All this stuff happened to me when I was a kid. And because we are not taught that therapy is good for us, because we are not taught that certain things is good that we do in order to emotionally heal, we end up bringing that into our adulthood. And now we have adults willing to say, oh, well, I'm like this because mommy and daddy was like that. No, you're like this because you're choosing to be now. You can't keep blaming people. And I feel like winners are winners because they choose not to blame. They choose to take responsibility and accountability for the things that they're doing. They say, hey, this was an objective situation, but now I have to do something different. Losers are losers because they refuse to do anything. They rather bitch and moan about their situation instead of actually putting forth any effort to change their situation.
Well, let's talk about that. Do you ladies believe that, some of us, as I sit here and do my Bud Light commercial, do you ladies believe that oftentimes we as black folks, do you think that we make excuses sometimes for being a loser? um have we used our past experiences, our past abuses, the lack of a father, the lack of a decent mother, growing up in poverty, whatever the case may be, eating roaches when we was kids? do
Okay.
we do we often you do we have a tendency to use these things as an excuse for being a loser?
I would say yes. If I can answer, I would say absolutely. I think people do all the time, and it's very tragic. Because, like I said, like I've heard, when you're a content creator, you hear some of the crazy excuses for why people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I'm sitting there like, so when I mean like, so you're just okay not having anything, and like I've had conversations with my grandmother. My grandmother is 78 years old. My grandmother worked at the post office for like 40 years. I had conversations with my grandmother, and she would legitimately tell me she had coworkers that would tell their kids, I had to suffer, I had to go through X, Y, and Z. So I don't see why it's a problem that you have to go through X, Y, and Z too. How is that
Hmm.
not setting our children up for failure?
Hmm. Yeah. 100%. Rephrase the question for me because I was going to say 100%. I agree with what you're saying. Just
Thank
rephrase it
you.
for me real quick.
Thank
Do,
you.
do you ladies believe that we as black folks often use our
Yes.
past
Okay.
as our abuse or whatever, our parents as an excuse to be a loser?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely do believe that we do, and I want to make a clarifying statement between the difference between excuses and reasons why. Because there are reasons why, as an adult, you may not be able to succeed based off of things from your childhood. And there are also excuses that people use based off of things in their childhood. One is valid, one is invalid. One can be overcome, one may not be able to be overcome. So, for instance, let's say a person has developed a personality disorder based off of some of the past trauma from their childhood. That's a reason why. You understand what I'm saying? But a person who couldn't afford an alarm clock as a kid, but never is on time, that's an excuse. So you could fix that. He has a personality disorder. They may have a harder time fixing it based off the traumas from their childhood. So I don't think that across the board, I said 100%, but you also have to have a little caveat to that, that there may be issues that may cause a person to not be able to be successful or be a winner as an adult, but more often than not, there are things that you're able to overcome. You guys already know my story, so I won't go into it again, but I will say you have to take the experiences and then internalize how you choose to spit them back out. I didn't want to continue the cycle or recreate new worse cycles than what I had already been through. Instead, I chose to create a new normal for me and my family moving forward. And already with just one generation, my own, that's actually, still here now, becoming a generation, I can actually see the difference in just the minor tweaks I've made from my upbringing until into my own. But me personally, as a kid, I wanted better for myself. I knew innately that this wasn't right. Like, it got to be better than this shit. Fuck this shit. Even if this is what everybody else doing, I'm not doing this shit. But that was me as a child. But then I would have, say, my brother, for instance, who same parents, same upbringing, his motivation is a little bit different than mine too. So we have to also factor that into the equation. Some of the things that we're just inherently born with that can't be taught to us or taken away from us as we're, evolving through this lifetime. So yes, I think that a lot of it is excuses. I think that, a person say, I got pain. Oh, you gonna give me some free money? Well, fuck it then. I ain't going to work. We got a lot of that mentality around here. But sometimes it's really not an excuse because people lack the hope. They lack the tools. in order to overcome the knowledge, the support system. I mean, it's a whole abundance of things. Like when I've been sitting up here watching 600 Pound Life for like a week and I'm shit fucking devastated. But listening to their stories and the way they walk you through how they became this big fat loser, you like, well, damn, if everything happened in succession like that, I could see why you get here. But then you have other cases where you like, no, motherfucker, you just lazy. That's it. You're just lazy. You just don't want to get up. So the fighter in me wants to say 100% it's excuses. Get your ass up and get out there and get it. But the realist in me, the person who done been through and seen a lot, knows that sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah, I have to go with that. There are reasons why, and then there are excuses. See, reasons why something is going on remain reasons when you are striving still, in spite of them. They only become excuses when there's an opportunity to change them and you refuse. So if you have a condition that can be changed with a little bit of effort or coming out of your comfort zone, or even a lot of effort it would take, then if you refuse to make those steps, it becomes an excuse because it's comfortable. And a lot of people are comfortable in pain. They're comfortable in bad situations. They're comfortable in dysfunction. They become comfortable with it. And a change in that scenery actually scares them. So if you've only lived under dysfunction, um, function scares you because you don't know what it is. You don't know how you're going to react. You don't know what's going on, or what your life is going to be like now with all of this dysfunction missing out of it. But what distinguishes the winner from the loser is the one who says, you know what, this hasn't been working. Let me try something else. And it's still scary to them, but they make the effort. But the loser is the one that says, better the devil you know than the one you don't. And they remain where they are. And then they start, like I said earlier, whining a company's losing and a loser's mentality. And also, what accompanies a loser's mentality is lack of accountability. They are not responsible for anything that is happening to them. Nothing that's happening to them is ever their fault. It's always can be pointed to some other person, some other entity, some other condition, some other circumstance that hindered or prevented them, or, you know, people who are losers or people who use crutches and excuses. You know how you can tell those people when you talk to them, they have all these problems and you give them solutions, and every solution you give them is a problem with the solution. It's a reason why it's not going to work. No, I can't do that because blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, well, have you tried this, that, and the third? Well, no, I'm not going to be able to do that because, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so you don't want a solution then. You like where you are. So since you like where you are, this becomes an excuse, and thus you become a loser because you don't make any effort to do something different. So yeah, I agree with what Ming is saying. There's reasons and then there's excuses.
Okay, so I guess I agree and I disagree, and I'll explain why. So I think, regardless of the severity of the thing, whether it's a condition or whatever it is, I think everything is both can be both reasons and excuses. And I think what that boils down to is the first step is admitting you have a problem, and I don't mean the problem on the surface, I mean the underlying problem. So the thing is that when your childhood and the bad things that happened in your childhood happen, you may have either just learned bad habits. I mean, you know how hard it is. I know this because I'm a tornado. You know how hard it is to learn how to be a clean and organized person as an adult when it wasn't taught slash enforced as a child. Whereas in those who learned and had it enforced as children tend to be relatively organized, clean adults. Um, and that's just a small example. And that's why I said I'm like I think reasons and excuses flow both ways because I'm like for me it's honestly the amount of chaos I can build in a matter of days is incredible and it's overwhelming to me and sometimes really upsets me. As ridiculous as it sounds, and it's like I'm not trying to do it. It's not on purpose. It's something that just keeps happening and I got to keep working harder and harder at it. But, until I've achieved my goal of not being a horrible, disastrous mess, I'm going to be one. And, so at the end of the day now, someone comes into my house unannounced and I didn't know they were coming, the rest of the house is fine. They'll come into my bedroom. They'll come into my bedroom. I probably start sounding like I'm spewing a lot of excuses. Really, it's something that I find really, uncomfortable and kind of shameful. But it's also something that, I've been working on and I'm still going to got to work on. And, every time I think I kind of got it down, something new happens in life that kind of changes everything. And it's just not a habit that has been programmed into my brain, and it's one of those things that's not sticking. So the thing is that and I'm using that example to say that on the other side with the example that I have when it comes to a disorder, I have my sister, for example, and she's the perfect example. So she developed this personality disorder specifically because people started giving her the excuse, not she was looking for it initially, giving her the excuse because her mom had just died and traumatic experience and blah blah blah. And so what ended up happening is from that and from the kind of manipulation that she was able to figure out was happening just from initially just when she would start crying, everyone would give her the world. Started learning that fake crying would give her the world, then she didn't even have to fake cry. She could just say dead mom and they give her the world. So she learned how to manipulate people and she developed personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, one of the ones that is very rampant in our community. Um, and so the thing is that she's actually now aware that she has this condition and she are there really legitimate times where her condition is the reason why she's behaving the way she is? Absolutely. And normally she's behaving and it's beyond her control when she doesn't tell you about it. So if she tells you about her condition, there's a good chance she's using it. So if she tells you about her mom dying when she was, 10 years ago and blah, 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 she's using it. And so you can use those conditions and really serious things that maybe you're going through now still as excuses for you to not have to do things, for you to fail upwards. Because, and I say fail upwards because you're going to keep failing and people are going to give you things. They're going to give you pity. They're going to give you support. They're going to give you money. They're going to give you something because, oh my God, my mom died 10 years ago. Um, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say at the end of the day, because one of the things with borderline personality disorder is that it makes you hella manipulative. Um, so you know how to use very serious things that did actually help you develop this disorder and do actually hold you back sometimes, but you know how to use those callously and carelessly to get your way. And that has to do, and I mean, people do this with a variety of disorders and in a variety of habits, right? If you're using
An excuse
that
wrapped in the reason why.
exactly, right? And so it's like, it's devastating because at the same time there are people who are just coming to awareness. They didn't really know they had this problem before. They just learned they had this problem. They haven't learned how to control it yet or whatever the case is. But honestly, more often than not, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of reasons. It's a reason, but it's an excuse. That probably is the reason. But are they really trying?
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to actually do something to fix that? Or did they already know before they opened their mouth or before they did that thing that they could fall back on the excuse? So, as much as like again, I'm not giving an excuse as to me being a tornado. I'm not giving an excuse as to a lot of kind of the deficient, defective things that I do. Because of my depression, for example. But if I'm using it and I'm telling you that that's why, I'm just explaining it's one thing. If I'm using it to get out of something, Be like, well, my depression. Well, my depression. That's what, you know what? It's almost telling you to a large extent that I probably could have did better, but I chose not to. And I already knew somewhere inside of myself that I'm going to be able to use my depression later. So, uh, yeah, I think, so in conclusion, sorry, long-winded way of saying, yeah, I do think that everybody uses not just their childhood, but things that they've gone through and whatever, and or if not all the time, has used those things as an excuse at some point. And it normally has to do with either because they're dealing with other things, or because they just aren't at the place where they feel like trying right now, and they want an
Also,
easy out.
I'm sorry. Also,
Sure,
I
go ahead.
wanted to add that we also have to be consider who we're talking to, because I find that depending on who I'm talking to, everything sounds like an excuse. No matter what you say, no
Hmm.
matter what you do, everything sounds like an excuse. And I think we have to be considerate of we have to be more considerate of people. Like I feel like a lot of the times we want everybody wants to be an individual, but we tend to put everybody in a box, and we don't treat people individually, although we want to be treated as individuals.
Well, let me ask you ladies this. Do you think that losing or loser mentality is do you think that can be kind of contagious and infectious? Example being, you can be somebody, I mean, be somebody like you ladies, okay? Or you ladies have your lives together and you do the shit you're supposed to do. Um, can a loser friend of yours infect your life? Can they come around with they loser bullshit and start affecting your life and make your life different? Can that happen? Is that whole loser aura, is that shit infectious? Is it contagious? Can a loser, well, let me rephrase it. Can a person who is, I guess, a bona fide loser have a friend who may not be a loser, but cause them to take on that loser mentality?
I mean, you could, but one of the 48 laws of power is to not let someone's unfortunate luck basically become your own. And I'm paraphrasing for those of you who read it. But because of what you're just saying, you can actually be around somebody and then their loser luck starts to run off on you. I mean, that's a superstitious or the boogeyman type of way of saying it. But the truth of the matter is, either people are going to rise up or you're going to come down. And it's way easier to come down than it is to bring somebody up to your level. So that's hence the reason why you should watch the company that you keep,
I agree. I
It's
think.
some some
I'm sorry. I keep
just one
kind of
last little
continue.
just one little last saying that I always like, you always may hear is that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to go find another room,
Right.
and that was
Yes,
the last thing I wanted to say.
exactly. I
Yeah.
agree with that shit wholeheartedly, boy. If you the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room. Yeah, you're in the
Love it.
wrong room. All right, go ahead, ladies.
I I think that I think if you have the mentality that you would that you will look at other people's failures and you take that on as your own, and you get to the mentality that you don't mind failing too. I think if that's the case, then you probably need to reconsider that friend. um but the problem that I see with this is that a lot of the times the loser friend is the friend that you've had since high school. How do you tell your loser friend that you've had since high school, that I can't deal with you anymore because your spirit, your energy is bringing me down? How do you tell somebody that you've been knowing for a very long time? And like I said, a lot of the times when I see people that have been successful and ultimately come down, it's because they are trying to hold on to people that they shouldn't necessarily be holding on to.
Next.
Sorry, I'm stuffing my face. So,
Don't make me break out the cricket sound effect up in there. Don't make me break it out.
mm, so my thing is this. First of all, it depends on the relationship you have with the person. And secondly, it depends on uh, where your life is at. So that is to say, if this person, for example, was your single gal pal kind of buddy, and you guys go clubbing and drinking and this and that and blah 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 blah, and then every time she comes over, she keeps talking about the glory days and whatever, and coaxing you to go out with her, just that one. And then when you do go out with her, then it's just that one more drink, and trying to convince you to relive your glory days. Yeah, that's someone that, you know what, you really got to kind of stay away from. Because at the end of the day, what she wants is a single gal pal. So if you're not single and you're trying to live your life and save your money and whatever, and she's not on that path, then you guys aren't in the same place. And you're not in the same place, and she wants to bring you back down to her place, not healthy for you. Um, if you are, if it's a family member, let's say, and you know there's a lot of love and support there and whatever, but they're always asking you for money, and they're always asking you for somewhere to crash, and they're always asking you for this and that and whatever. What you've got to do is stop and think to yourself, okay, overall, is this person's presence in my life positive or negative or neutral? First of all. Second of all, is to ask yourself, okay, well, is there something I can do to neutralize the negative so that way, overall, this person's presence in my life isn't a negative? So, for example, not lending them money anymore. When they need somewhere to crash, okay, maybe you don't mind doing that, but maybe you really mind if they need somewhere to crash and they bring three friends with them, or whatever the case is. Um, and so it's about you figuring out your own limits. Um, and because if your life is somewhere where it's kind of, maybe you are married, which in that case you and your husband should be having, or you and your wife, your man, should be having these discussions about, listen, what are the hard limits and the soft limits in this household as far as what friendship and functionality look like, and then we got to just enforce that. Maybe you're single though, and you're a single mother and you're trying to get your stuff together and blah blah blah. Well, in that case, you've got to sit down with yourself and do some, not even associate with the losers in your life, but just for yourself. What are your hard and soft limits? Um, what is something that's really detrimental to you? What can slide? And then what you need to do, one way or the other, if whether it's friends, family, whatever, is you need to make sure that you protect yourself. A friend of mine had gotten saved, and I understand that the black church is not like the Jamaican church, but at least the one in Canada slash Jamaica, because they take it very, very seriously. And so she had gotten saved. It was like 6 months after her kid was born, so it's about 6 years ago. And at that point, she just realized like this girl she had known since high school. She knew me since high school too. The difference is though is that I kind of am not going to pull you out to clubs or certain things that were all Simi and whatever. And plus, I'll talk about God and Bible and blah blah blah, and help her with her little path and all that stuff. So, as a result, I wasn't maybe dangerous to her. Was in she associated the other friend with danger to her, as far as backsliding, going back to the old ways, and just bringing her somewhere that was just not good for her. And so she had to say, like, listen, I love you. I appreciate you and everything you've ever done for me. And I'm not saying this is forever. However, right now, I'm not in the place where I can really associate with the unsaved. That's just what it comes down to. I'm new in all of this. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forwards. Plus, I have the baby to consider. And, I love you so much. And I know you're probably going to be really mad and really hurt. But this is what I need to do if I'm going to be able to get better and stronger. And she just had to say that. And, it's not about saying, hey, you're a loser and I don't associate with losers anymore. It's about you figuring out really what are the issues? What are those things when you say loser? Why is she a loser? Or why is he a loser? Why do you need to distance yourself from their life? And then putting that into words that they can understand and saying, hey, that's just for right now. I mean, maybe things will change or blah, blah, blah. And obviously, I hope the best for you. And whatever, you got to find a way of, really saying it in a way that you're not trying to put down the people you care about, if you care about them. But at the same time, you're drawing that hard line and you're saying, no, I can't because I can't risk myself.
I agree. Lady Kendra, is she eating somewhere too? She
I don't know that I have a whole lot to add to that one necessarily. Nah, I don't have much to add to that. Pretty much said everything. It would be redundant at this point, so I'm gonna pass the mic.
okay. um. Well, we've chopped it up about the losers. Um. Let's talk about winning, and let me do this also. I'm looking at the oh damn, I can't even chastise y'all tonight because the damn like count is higher than the viewer count. Okay, never mind. But I will do this. I will direct you right here. Right here. See right there? See that Streamlabs link? If you're feeling generous with your coins, drop a few coins in the bucket because you know this is worth some money. You're sitting here listening to the Unicorn 4, but Lady Katz is not here. So we got Lady Ashley W filling in tonight. She was nice enough to show up for a brother. I appreciate that. So still, I got 4 for y'all. I try not to let y'all down. Y'all know that. Um, yeah, but like I was saying, um, let's talk about the winners. What do you ladies consider winning? I mean, what's your idea of a winner? What's winning in life? What's oh well, let me ask you this. Let's make it gender specific. What's winning in life for a female?
I ponder that question, and I don't look at it from just a female's perspective, just generally speaking, a lot, because you can look around you and you see some of the most destitute people, and they're so happy, and it's just enough for them to go to work, come home, have their meal, have their beer, watch the game, kick up their feet. That's enough for them. So for me, I believe that winning is more of a state of mind, or what brings you happiness and peace, because ultimately that's when you're winning. So to put that in practice, you could look at, like, say, a celebrity or somebody who has all the trappings of this world yet aren't still winning. And for me, it's because they're not happy. They're still on a hamster wheel, feeling like they haven't accumulated enough because their soul's not at peace. Therefore, they're not winning, and they really don't even feel like they're winning either. No matter how much they strut around like peacocks, they don't even feel like they won. And then you could, like I said, the earlier example of the destitute person, and they're just so happy, and the children are running around in the backyard, and so on and so forth. That's true winning to me. So as you can see, if I paint a picture, that's what it kind of looks like to me, which is the life that I've actually built. I'm winning, and I don't give a fuck how the hell you do the math, because I'm happy. My children are happy and healthy and smart and funny. My husband is happy and healthy and smart and funny and, doing very well. But I'm happy. My siblings, my mom, she's turning 60 soon. We were just talking about a surprise birthday party, flying to go see her in San Antonio. That's winning for me. But winning may look differently for you. You're winning. You just opened up another shop. I don't have two shops. So our wins look a little different. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I think that is something that, universally speaking, we can come up with an idea of what winning looks like, but I also believe it's a little subjective too.
Okay. Next. And Miss
Winning.
I don't think winning can be broken down into gender specifics, because I don't know that there's a gender specific winning. Winning is pretty much when you are doing what you basically want to do. Like, okay, I consider myself in many ways a winner. Do I have a lot of money? No, I work every day. I live paycheck to paycheck. A couple of them paycheck skips, I'm in trouble. But I do have good work ethic. My priorities are straight. I'm paying my bills. I'm not out here destitute, and you working and you still don't got no goddamn money and no food and no,
No,
your
that's
lights off.
right.
And all that kind of shit, So, that's good. I got that going. Like I said, I got good work ethic. Wake up every day and not only go to the job that's paying me the paycheck, but doing other things that I consider to be fulfilling and worthwhile. And my dividends are not counted in Federal Reserve notes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I live a contented life. Do I want to do more things? Of course, I want to do more things. I want to travel. I want to see some things, want to go a few places, and I'm going to do those things, God willing. You know
Hold
what I'm
on.
saying? I'm
Let
certainly
me
going to effort.
hold on for a second. Hold on for a second, lady Kendra. Um, See, I don't usually pay attention to the chat, but I see somebody in here named Jeffrey Anderson. If you don't like what's going on in here, the door is to your right, or your left, or your front, or your back, or over your head, or underneath your feet. All right. Now, if you don't like what's going on in here, you can just say bye bye, as opposed to sitting in the chat room talking about what we should be talking about, responses, and all that kind of crap. Now, if you want to continue to remain in this chat room, I suggest you chill, or my moderators will show your ass the door. Continue, ladies. And this is brought to you by
Yeah.
Bud
So,
Light.
so I mean, I'm doing. Am I gonna travel? Sure, God willing, I'm gonna. You know what I'm saying? Take a couple of vacations, go here and there, simple stuff. I'm not. It's not difficult to for me to be content, anyways. Because I like me. I like my own company. I like people that I like. I like being around, like my fam and all that kind of stuff. So it's not difficult to make me content. But and so in that strain, I am winning because I'm certainly going to make effort to do the things that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I'm losing weight. I think I lost like 15 pounds or something like that. Feel pretty damn good. I got pretty good work ethic going here. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a winner because I don't have loser mentality. I don't whine. I don't bitch. I don't complain. Things are what they are. I deal with them as they come. I'm forge and push past and move forward. That's winning to me. I may never have millions of dollars, or I might. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm certainly not opposed to a windfall of money, but whether it happens or not, whatever. Because money and success that way doesn't define my winning anyway. I don't define success like that because there's plenty of people with plenty of money as miserable as hell. So my whether or not you're winning depends on your value system. What is your value system? What is it dependent upon? Are you setting your value system up in an unrealistic way so that you never actually achieve things and therefore you consistently lose at them? Or are you setting your value system up in such a way where you can actually visualize those goals and then work towards them and then feel rewarded when you do? Whatever those goals are, whether your goal was to have a successful family of your own and you did that, or your goal was to see the world and you did that, or your goal was to work every day so you won't be homeless and hungry and you did that. Whatever it is, if you're able to succeed at it, then you're winning.
Do we still got Ashley W? Is she still here? Yeah, she's still here. You still there, Ashley?
Oh wait, let me take myself off mute. Yeah, I'm still here. Um, for me, I think winning is being able to say and do even though you may not have a reason to. It's like, because I've always thought, I agree that winning and whatever definition of success is always subjective. Um, some people might some people call weird stuff failures, and it's like, they happy, so why are you saying they failing? Like, that's crazy to me. But I think it depends. Like, I really think winning is you deciding. It's a conscious choice to decide to do and be better every day. I am going to go, I have a goal. This is what I want. And I'm going to actively try to accomplish that goal. If you're doing that, to me, you're winning. If you're not doing that, then you're losing. If you're sitting around complaining about your situation instead of actually trying to do something about your situation, you're losing. And I had to check myself recently because I was doing that the same thing that one of the other ladies was saying about, you know, you say something and like you come up with somebody else suggests something to you and you shoot it down. And like I was doing that the other day and I'm like, why the heck am I doing this? I know better. And it's like it's a mindset and it's a choice. Like it's really a choice. I really feel like a lot of things are choices that we have to make every single day until it becomes habit and until it becomes like second nature. And for a lot of us, we have been accustomed to losing or feeling like we're losing. We've been accustomed to seeing people lose. And it's like we have to get into a mentality that that's not going to be me. I want better for myself. So whatever it takes, that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, it's when you don't do that, that's when you lose
Agree.
because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to succeed.
Hmm. Well, the thing is, for me, I like I don't think that it's black and white. I don't think that if you're not a loser, then you're a winner. Um, I do think that, I don't really think that it's as black and white. I think there's a continuum. So you can be on your way to being a winner. You could be on your way to being a loser. You don't just go one day from winning and the next day, you're a loser. You fall. It's the same thing. I think that you climb up to being a winner, and I don't mean as in until you reach some ultimate penultimate goal that you're a loser. I mean as in you can actually sit there and just from the climb in and of itself, from trying to, achieve all your goals, you can be a winner. I think for me, though, when you're in that in between, there's a lot of times that, you're taking two steps forward and maybe one step back or even two steps back. And because you're trying to figure out how to get from where you're at to where you're succeeding. And I think, when you have a lot of those negative habits and, maybe other things to battle, psychiatric disorders, post traumatic stress, health issues, whatever it is, it can be really hard for you to get yourself not only into a winning mentality, but to have a mentality of yours, what you want to do and who you want to be, match what you're actually doing. So, for example, for myself, I don't feel that I'm a winner. I kind of feel like I'm in a limbo phase, and I feel like I take two steps forward, take two steps back, and whatever. Some people on the surface might look at my life and say, "Hey, you're winning," and sure, in some aspects I am, but I look at a global whole, and with my health issues and stuff like that, that I've always got to contend with. I have to regularly kind of update and redo what it is that I think winning means. And I have to update and redo my goals and uh, being able to set realistic goals that are also about achieving my dreams. And might even have to shift what my dreams are. So that's a really difficult process. And it's really difficult not to fall back into old habits and into old destructive patterns of thought and behavior. And so it's like, yeah, some days you're winning just by not falling backwards, even though you did nothing to move forward. Other days, you're losing because you're doing things, but those things aren't bringing you closer to anything near what you would consider winning. And so, what I realized at the end of the day, like, I agree in the fact that what winning means to me, and what winning means in my life might be very different than what winning means to Ming's life or Gensha's life or anyone's life. And so on one level, it is uh, personally set. On another side, though, there is obviously, I think there's a social normative kind of set that tells you what winning is. And so I think that we have some kind of we do have issues, and I think there's a cognitive dissonance where someone might be achieving all their goals and might be getting all of their hopes and dreams, but in and of itself, we still do think they're a loser. Because of the way that they're going about it or because of what the goals that they have are. So in and of itself, I think on one side it's kind of difficult to, for me at least, to say what a winner is. I know one when I see one. I know one when I hear one. But what exactly is that? I think that's harder for me to define than it is for me to define the loser.
Let me just say this, and this is a little off topic, but I need to say it. In my chat room, those of you who are kind of new to the platform, you will see many, many names in blue. And that is for a reason. The reason why I have so many names in blue is because if I have a lot of wrenches, that means I have minimum trolls. I don't censor my people with wrenches. I mean, if you got a wrench, you can do whatever you want with it. You can club them in the head with it if you want to. You can bust them in the face with it if you want to. I don't care. I don't censor my moderators. If someone's in this chat room that you think is saying something crazy or talking out of context, feel free to decapitate them. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. So you have a wrench, that means you have free will to decapitate anybody that you think is talking crazy. Okay? You can look at these archives, you can see I don't censor my moderators. If you have a wrench, feel free to use it. Okay? And those of you who do not have a wrench, the reason why you probably don't have a wrench is because I'm not too sure about you. I'm not too sure. That's why you don't have one. So be careful what you type in that chat room. If you want to participate in the chatting, you best be on your P's and Q's because you have a lot of wrenches aimed at your head. I'm just saying. But anyway, a lot of times, right? We because you hear us a lot, oh, winning, winning. And like Lady Ming said earlier, she said, my winning looks different from, any of these ladies on this panel winning. I guess a person who sleeps under the train trestle is winning. If he got a sandwich today, he's winning. I think that a lot of times we as Black people, I think we focus on winning. I think we all want to win at some point in our lives. I think that when we start to give up, like you ladies alluded to, when we start to give up on focusing on winning, that's when we start drifting towards, loserville, when we stop focusing on the winning, when we stop wanting to win. Oftentimes as Black folks, we can think that we're winning and really we're not sometimes. You often see people who from the outside, from looking at them from the outside, you can tell that they may not be taking care of themselves physically. They may not be taking care of themselves financially. They may not be taking care of their kids correctly. They may be on drugs. They may be on crack, meth, whatever. But in their mind, they're winning. I mean, a woman, she can be out there hoeing. She thinks she's winning. Hoes is winning. Brother, he could be out there robbing, stealing, and living pillar to post and sleeping in the woods. But in his mind, he's winning. So winning and losing is subjective, I guess, to each particular individual. And I think we often will pass judgment on people without knowing what their story exactly is. But what about the people we know their story? Okay. We know their story. We know that they're not winning. We know that uh, they own drugs. We know they out there hoeing. And more than likely, this person may be related to us. They may be a friend of ours. They may be our mama, our daddy, our brother, our sister, our boyfriend, our girlfriend, whoever. They may be that. What do we do when we know someone is losing? When we know, not when we think, when we know that this person is losing, what do we do to not, I don't want to say try to make them a winner, but what do we do to try to keep them from continuing to be a loser?
Well, that sort of all depends on why are we trying to get them to not be losers. And that sounds callous, but hear me out. I learned very long ago that you can't talk people out of stuff. You can't when they're on a path of self-destruction, there's very little you can do except for get out of the way. And if you are talking about somebody that's real close to you, just somebody you love, you can have empathy. You can see what assistance you can give without enabling, which is difficult. But ultimately, regardless of their relationship with you, regardless of how you feel about them, regardless of how painful it may be to watch someone that you love kind of go down the tubes, ultimately, it is their life and they have to live it. And there's no amount of talking them out of it or empathy or sympathy or any of that that's gonna save them, because people have to, sometimes they gotta run smack dab into the brick wall before they wake up, if they wake up. Now, some people will, have sense enough to learn from mistakes, or they can learn from other people's mistakes too. But a lot of times when it's a mentality that's kind of deep rooted, you can't do nothing about that. So the worst thing that you possibly really can do is break yourself trying to help somebody else, because you empty and pour yourself out to the last drippings for somebody, and then what if that don't work? Then what? Then what do you do? Get mad? Do we get bitter? Do we curse them for all eternity? I mean, what? You know what I'm saying? So just because I'm really of the mindset, just because somebody, your family member, that don't mean I gotta save you. Especially if you one of them people that don't want to be saved. I'm not expending my energy on it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't care, I don't care. If you care, I care. When you care, I'll care. As long as you don't give a shit, okay. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't help somebody who don't want to be helped. I literally see this every day. This is what I do for a living. I see people every day. They come in with some "oh woe is me" story, some of them, and I tell them do X, Y, and Z, and I can. I have the possibility I can get you some training for free that you don't even have to pay for. You just got to do a little bit of footwork. I tell you I can even help you get a job. All you got to do is do a little footwork. And do you know I literally we have applications. They have to fill out some paperwork. I literally have a stack of applications of people that sit in front of my face saying, I need help with this, this, and that. And I'm telling them, I can help you with this, this, and that. And I never see them again. I cannot help you if you don't want to be helped. Also, I also, because this has always been my problem. I have a hard time asking for help. So if I'm losing, guess what? I'm probably the only one that knows I'm losing because I'm not telling anybody. And that can be problematic too. And often, and what I've experienced personally is when I do try to tell people, like, hey, I'm in a jacked up situation, I need help, it's always, well, it's like, this is why I guess I go back to, is it an excuse or is it actually something real? Are you telling me something that's going to actually benefit me, or are you telling me something that benefits you on how you're living and what you're doing? That might what's a good solution for you might not be a good solution for me in my situation. And we have to, and it's like that's why we do have to be careful when we are trying to give advice, because like I said, like, people, you can only help people as much as they want to be helped in the first place. And ultimately, you're going to be the one that's getting depleted if you're constantly pouring yourself into people and trying to give advice and trying, and they're not being receptive, but they keep wanting to come to you and complain. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
I agree. Totally agree.
Is the question, should we help losers become winners?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just wondering,
Pretty,
like, is that it? Like, should we,
pretty.
like,
Well,
invest
well,
our time?
well,
Hmm.
we have to know because I said earlier we throw that loser word around a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Someone that we know, maybe it's our friend, our
Hmm.
brother, our sister, our mama, daddy, whoever, niece,
Hmm.
nephew, kid. We know they're losing. Yeah, we know. We have the knowledge that they're losing. Should we? Should we? What should we be doing
Okay.
to? Go ahead.
Okay. So, in keeping with the question, like friends, family, our sphere of influence, my personality type is that I have boundaries. Y'all know that by now. Much time as we spent together, y'all should know that by now. I have boundaries, and I'm never going to let someone breach those boundaries. And I don't give a fuck what their story is or their reason why or excuse, however we want to frame it. I'm not going to let you breach them, because now you start to step over into self-preservation territory, and I'm not giving that up, my happiness and my peace, for nobody, right? But the flip side of that coin is that my personality type, being that I'm an ENTJ, is also that I'm going to continuously tell your ass over and over and over again, as many times as it takes. You always got a friend in me, but I'm not going to let you use me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, for instance, I told you guys about having a family member who I opened up my home to, let him, use my room and everything else. And he played me, not getting into the details. And my brother, and I told my mother, I said, I always got his back, but he'll never stand in my roof again. His ass will be living on the corner in a goddamn brown paper bag or a box before he'll step foot in here. And they didn't even know before. He'll never do that again because you played me. But I love you. I'll help you fill out paperwork. I'll tell you everything you need to do. I'll direct you to the nearest shelter. Your kids will spend the night. So I'm not going to ever stop helping you. If we're talking about my friends and my family, I'm just not going to let you use and abuse me, because I have my own family and I have my own order of operations over here, and everybody else outside of it is at the bottom. Right. But if we're talking about dealing with the community, people you've grown up with, cousins, distant cousins, or whomever, I still would want to impart wisdom on you, because I'm a strategist. I'm solution oriented. I hear the issue enough for me to be able to formulate a solution, and I'm going to help you get up and go. I'm a self starter. So that you'll never take away from me either. It's just the amount of chances or opportunities am I going to take to tell you. See, family, I don't give a fuck about you twisting up your face and hanging up the phone and screaming and hollering and all that other bullshit. When we out in the street and we're talking about coworkers or something like that, I'm a good read of body language and character. My discernment is sharp. I've cultivated that over 39 years. So if I'm feeling like you ain't trying to hear me, or I see that you a dun, then fuck you. I'm not selling you shit else. But guess what? As you
Did
going through
you
your stupid shit,
did you
because
just
I
say
told you, oh,
that?
dun, yeah. Yeah, I remember that word. But as you over there going through your bullshit again, I listed like, oh wow, really, for real? I'm one of them people you probably could get a couple of times to continuously impart wisdom, but you're never going to use me. And you guys, all know that about me at this point. I'll tell your ass as many times as necessary if I feel like it, because what does that hurt? Sometimes you do have to plant a seed. Everybody's not going to take immediately the first time they tell you. You know how many damn businesses my other brother done told me he want to start and do? As my help has waned. It started as, oh really, well come over, I'll help you write your resume, I help you do your business plan, and et cetera, et cetera. Then it became like, oh, for real? Well, congratulations. I'm glad you got back to school. Then it tapered down from there with the next big fucking idea, like, well, have you thought about this, that, and the third? But see, now I'm not offering to help you put it together. You see what I'm saying? And then the fourth time he called me with some more shit, and I'm always gonna be there for him, because that's what you do for people you love. Now, Ashley brought up the part about being able to get help, or even being able to accept help. I can't accept help. I'm not the type of person that accepts help very well. I'm the type of person who, to make sure I don't have to ask for help, I do what the hell I'm supposed to do, or did what the hell I was supposed to do, to ensure I was always in a position to take care of myself. As soon as I was given the opportunity to, as soon as I could hit the goddamn door, I did not let grass grow under my feet. So I don't even know, I've had friends even tell me once before, when you go through stuff, you should tell people, and blah, 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 you don't, and so on and so forth. But that was in my early 20s. I'm in my late 30s now, so I'm a little bit more open. And of course, my husband is my best friend, so he knows my ins and outs, but I don't burden people with my problems. I'm the fixer, and I carry that very well. It's something I like to do. That's not a burden for me. But it does make me feel uncomfortable to overshare with other people. If I share with you and let you see that part of me, it means a lot. And you're also the one I'm going to cut real motherfucking deep if you burn me too. But that's just how I roll. That's the Aries in me. So, there's that.
I heard that, girl. If I let you see my underbelly and you kick me in it,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get you. Better not be the day, may not be tomorrow, but I'm gonna get you. You ain't gonna bring no stuff up back up. I done shared in
Mm-mm.
confidence, and then you gonna hit me with it? Okay,
Mhm.
I got you. Okay, I already
I'm
know
so
then.
serious about that.
Well, do you ladies think that that's part of that's kind of part of being a quote unquote winner, is that uh you don't need you don't need a lot of help with shit. You kind of grab the bull by the horns type person. You do things on your own. You handle your own business. You can handle your business and help other people with their shit. all at the same time. Isn't that kind of what winning is? Because if you always need people for shit, people always got to give you money. People always got to give you a fucking place to stay. People always got to give you a ride. People always got to give you shit. You're kind of heading towards Loserville. If people always have to do shit for you that you should be doing for yourself, it's hard for people to not look at you as a loser. Helping a person out here and there is one thing, but when a person always needs some
Yeah,
shit,
always is the operative word.
all the time, this person always needs money.
Like
They
all the
always,
time, nigga. Like every
yeah,
day you need some help.
yeah,
Like you
they need
always gotta
money.
borrow some money.
Yeah, they always
You
need money.
always kicked out.
Yeah, they
What the
always
fuck
need a
is wrong with
ride.
you?
They always need a place
Like
to
not like
sleep.
a motherfucker that always got an emergency. Like
Yeah,
what the hell is
Yeah.
wrong with
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Your whole damn life is 911, nigga. Just sit back and watch your ass like a reality TV show, nigga. Cause your whole motherfucking shit is
I
fucked up.
know. And I know people like that. And as I've gotten older, I've slowly like trimmed that type of fat once I decided the type of energy I wanted in my life, like who I wanted to be. Because I'm an onion, I'm multifaceted. I got a lot of layers. And when I decided and got comfortable with who I was, I trimmed that fat. Them people always in some shit, always got some dramas, always something, never settled down. Like, goddamn, the older we get, the less appealing hearing your story becomes, to finally, it's like, I'm done. And I'm talking people I've been friends with for 20 years because I'm not
Mm.
always with you no more. Like our roads started to, go separate ways a long time ago. As soon as I went away to school, but even still, I still a part of me. I mean, come on, but you still not doing that, and you don't even want to seek out to do that. Some of these problems, because then it starts to be, I can't even have you around my kids,
Mm-hmm.
with that type of shit.
Yeah.
No, you can't come to my house and bring that new nigga. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And then, motherfucker, you come alone.
Right.
Then
Cause
now we
I
got
barely
beef.
want you. So how the fuck a plus one is plus oneing? I barely want
Yeah,
your ass over here.
Well, let me
exactly.
let me ask you ladies this. What about you, ladies? What about you is winning? I mean, what are your winning qualities, I should say? What are your winning qualities as women? What are your winning qualities?
You know what? Let me say this before anybody open their mouth. Because I'm about to say something ignorant. On principle alone, I refuse to list my winning qualities. If a motherfucker want to know what they are, dig for them. Find them on your own. And I have my reasons for saying that, but people listening and running back and trying to judge what we do and judge what we say and what we giving back, what we ain't giving back, what we doing, what make us a unicorn, none of your motherfucking business.
well, well, see,
So
that's the
I
well, see,
refuse to tell
You
you.
that's the
find
thing.
out.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I
So
have
there's
been,
that. Now run tell
I've been,
that.
yeah. I understand that. I actually understand that, and I'm actually with you on that. I'm with you on that. Um, because I've heard the bullshit, because we all got our spies in media, and I have mine too. All right. We all have our media spies who go and look at other people's shit and come back and be like, yo, they were saying this, so we all have that. I have some too. And I've heard the bullshit that's been said, on the other platforms and shit like that. And I don't even choose to address it. You know why? Because see, I'm not going to continue to revisit old shit. If they
But see,
want to
you know what,
continue to
Brother
talk about
X, to
old
not
shit,
address
they can
it is
have it.
to not address it. You can only not address it by not addressing it. And that's why I
Exactly.
refuse to answer the motherfucking question because it's like an answer and a call and repeat. No, I'm not getting tangled up in that shit. I have a husband. I don't need to sit up here and justify shit to you. I'm giving you a part of me willingly, not because I owe you a motherfucking thing. So that
Got it.
question, we can talk about it offline. God damn it. I'll write you a bullet pointed list over email.
Well,
But
see,
what I won't be sitting up here doing is providing his next show.
yeah, well, we're not even gonna go that route then, because see, I kind like I said, I'm with you there. So I'm trying to move past that shit. So let me
Mm-hmm.
just go ahead. No matter of fact, you know what? We'll just go ahead and talk about some other shit. How about we do that? Because see, I'm trying to move past that shit. If these motherfuckers want to continue to dwell on some shit for weeks and weeks and weeks, they can go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? Here at TPOT, we move on. You know what I'm saying? We talk about other shit. We talk about different shit every week. We're not gonna have the same show every week for a goddamn month. All right. With that, we ain't gonna do. So how about we ain't gonna have the same show every week for a damn month. That's just stupid. So how about we do this? I'll rephrase the question. What do you ladies think the winning qualities of black society is? How about that?
Now that I answer, I think one of the things that we do best is persevere. And that is a quality of a winner. A winner is one that doesn't let one or two stumbling blocks or obstacles stop them completely from attempting to reach their goal. Um, so I feel like that's one of the qualities that we have. I mean, because we survived all that bullshit, all of it. And while we did not come out of it unscathed, because in truth, who could, we also did not come out of it a completely broken group of people. We have our issues. We are broken in a lot of ways, but we are survivors. We are. And we carry that surviving spirit. We are people who are able, for the most part, to, like the old folks say, make a way out of no way. So, we'll see some shit, and for anybody else, it's daunting. For us, it's like, okay, well, I got to figure out how I get done. Like I watch and listen, to other people, and shit be devastating to them. Like, I'll give you a real quick example. I was watching, what's that TV show? Master Chef. Y'all watch Master Chef? Anyway, I like watching Master Chef. Anyway, so it was this one girl that was doing like a little pressure cooking test, and one black girl was mad at the one white girl. I forgot why. But she wasn't like going ham on the white girl. She was just like, I'm upset because she made her do the little test, but she had done well in the little challenge earlier. So the white girl was falling apart because this lady didn't like her, or was upset with her. And she was like crumbling. She's like, I don't know if I could be here to do this contest. Oh my God. Now I'm looking at her like, bitch, is that the hardest thing you ever done? Or somebody don't like you? And she was like, I'm not used to being places where people don't like me. And she was like crying. And I was looking like at the TV, I was laughing because that's nothing. That is nothing burgers. Okay. For somebody to not like you, is that the hardest thing you've been through? And then we've been through so much harder shit. Like just overall, like our whole upbringing is different. We're taught that some of the hardest things that we face, you shrug them off and you keep going. Like you got to keep going. You can't be, that's almost why I want to say that's almost why we don't seek therapy, because we are very good, for better or worse, at bullying through a lot of bullshit and coming out the other end of it. So I think that's one of the qualities, at least, that we have as a group, is that level of perseverance that we have.
I agree. I really couldn't say anything better myself.
Next,
Sorry, could you maybe rephrase the question for me, please?
um, I said, what do you think some of the winning qualities are of Black society?
Um, yeah, what, honestly, like I agree with Kendra. Um, there's something to be said for our community. I mean, the things that we don't see is a big deal. I think is incredible. Some of those things, unfortunately, I think are half of what our problem is. For example, like like I said at the beginning, like we have such a pervasive issue when it comes to undiagnosed, untreated mental health conditions, but it's because we are actually okay with dealing with a massive amount of discomfort and disorder and still somehow fighting through it to get to the other side, whereby a lot of other communities wouldn't be able to, or members of the other communities wouldn't be able to. A lot of kids from other communities wouldn't be able to actually survive, let alone to manage to pull in A's or become amazing sports stars when they barely have anything to eat. They barely ate this week or this month, let alone today. And they're able to perform when all life sciences say that they shouldn't be able to perform at all, because without a massive amount of fat, fueling your brain, you can't really think, and yet they'll be able to somehow just get around it. And it's something I think is unique to our community. It's because we do have something built in, a bunch of mechanisms built in, and I'm talking about obviously any of the communities that are descended from slavery, so the Caribbean, North America. There's something built in that literally is like a fail safe against harm. So when all else fails, we will be able to survive and thrive when no one else can.
I'm sorry,
Anybody
X. I
else?
stepped away for a second. Tell me the question again,
Um,
please.
I said, what was the name some of the winning qualities of Black society? What are some of the winning qualities of Black society?
Some of the winning qualities of Black society. We talked about this before in another conversation. And I remember in that conversation saying then, hell, look around you. All of this is what we built. Like everything is the winning quality of Black society, from our culture, our music, our hair, our food, our people, our bodies, our skin tone, our melanin, our blood, our bloodline. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on and on. And some people, based off perspective, might also deem some of those things losing qualities, but I'm not really one to listen to the naysayers like that. So for me, the glasses through which I view the world, I see nothing but wins all the way around. You know what I mean? I'm a big picture person, so I look at things like we winning. What we're the one part that we're probably losing at is working together. How to connect all of the pieces to this intricate puzzle where everybody's strongest attributes and wins are all connected to one another, and we're drawing off of it because we're all connected anyway. It's just people that's aware of the connection and people who aren't aware of the connection, quite honestly. And then those of us who are aware of the connection know how to that don't know how to harness their power. You have a lot of people that way that don't know what to do with what they know. But the truth of the matter is, once we can figure out how to work together, without trying to force people to really change anything, because see, that's the problem. That's the holdback. That's the daunting task that stops us from actually accomplishing anything, because you're always trying to change people. I said this before: cut the motherfucking arm off and keep on moving. you know I kind of feel that way. So because I don't look at it like we need to change anything, it's easier for me to look at ways for us to work together, because I'm looking at it from a realistic prism. I'm not looking at it of what I hope it to be, what I want it to be, and totally ignoring what it isn't. So actually, all of our attributes, everything you could freaking list, bullet pointed out, I'll include that in the email too if you want me to. All the attributes. Because I see nothing but attributes. The one disadvantage we have is that we don't know how to work together like other cultures and communities do.
Okay, well, we coming to the end of the show, so I just want to ask you ladies this before we cut out. Are there more winners in black society, or are there more losers?
I don't know. That's a hard one, you know. Because, like Ming said, we got a lot of qualities there. The ingredients are there. We just have to figure out how to win as a group rather than win individually, because we know how to do that. But as for whether or not there are more winners and losers, I don't think that there are more just losers among us. Of course, there are some. Yeah, you can point them out, you can find them. But I think most of us want to, whether we know how to or not. I think we have a desire to win, to come out on top as a whole, more than we don't. I think the issue lies in the fact that we don't really know how. And that's what stops us. We're unable to connect all the dots. But I don't think that there are more losers. Although it's in reality that might be a little hard to say.
Well, I think, and this is where I said, I do think there's a continuum. It's not just either you're a winner or a loser. So I think that what the majority of the Black community has is a bunch of people on that continuum somewhere. Um, they want to win. Maybe they don't know how to win. Maybe they're taking steps to win. They haven't quite gotten there. And I think part of the reason why that is because we don't know how to set realistic expectations. We know we want to win. We know we want to be successful. You have no idea what that looks like. You have no idea how to achieve it. So we are often kind of just doing what we can, doing what worked for our forefathers. And then when that doesn't work, we're trying to switch it up a bit. We're trying to copy what so and so did down the street. We're taking advice from YouTube or from TV or from music, and whatever. And then we're trying to do that. This is why you have so many kids who want to be sports stars or who want to be rappers or other musicians and whatever, because they know that's the for sure win. Um, they're not sure how else to get one. And at the end of the day, they're not even really sure why that's the win, because they think that the win is about the money. Everything's about money. So we think that success is only about money, and we're not sure even what levels of success we've achieved ourselves. I mean, I said I don't define myself as being a winner, and Malika Mibane said I think you're a winner based on everything I know. And it's like, really, that's surprising to me. So I think that, I think on one level, if you don't think you're a winner, no one else really can, because it is kind of, like I said, I think it's self-defined. And so I think that if we learn how to set more realistic goals, intermediary goals, things that we can achieve, say week by week or month by month or year by year, and we start, maybe taking seminars or whatever, learning how do you achieve your goals, that will shift a lot more people up higher on the spectrum towards winning, if not having them be in places where they really do feel like winners instead of just saying it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna say this before we cut out of here. Often we, like I said earlier, we throw the word loser around. I think maybe we should throw the word winner around a little more. Um, if we called people winners as much as we called people losers, we probably would have more winners than losers. Especially when it comes to young. I mean, I know I always harp on this when we talk about this kind of shit because we know that a lot of adults. I mean, a lot of them are just lost. I mean, let's be real. We often talk about how we can save everybody. We all know that that's bullshit. We can't save everybody, but we can save most of the children because the children can still be taught and groomed and learned and shaped. I go back to this saying that I use all the time from Frederick Douglass. It's easier to raise strong children than it is to repair broken men. So I always go back to the young ones because the young ones can be taught a winning mentality as opposed to an adult who's already in their 40s and 50s who has lived their whole life with the losing mentality. You just stand a better chance of turning that young one into a winner as opposed to changing the mind of the 50-year-old loser. That's just what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please write me and tell me. But I think oftentimes, maybe we should be using the word winning a little more as opposed to losing. And because I think back to something that I hear my wife say a lot. She often says, speak things into existence. That's something my lady says a lot. She says that to me a lot. She says, speak things into existence. So I think if we maybe spent a little time uh speaking better things into existence, maybe better things would manifest. Um Maybe not for everyone, but for some. And if we could, just change the mind, open the mind of one person so they pick up the winning mentality as opposed to the losing mentality, that's a win. That's a win. To me, that's a win. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight, stopping by, spending some time with us. People in the chat, my mods, especially the audience. I want to thank y'all for watching. What I need y'all to do, what I tell y'all every week, I need y'all to go on down to Profit of Thought Series on Facebook. That's Profit of Thought Series on Facebook. That's the main page. Stop in there, like the page, follow the page, share the page. Make sure you go on there. You can catch up with the U4 on there. And also, you can catch up with my black ass and also Teacher Tanisha. Also, make sure you stop by the TPOT bandwagon page on Facebook. The TPOT bandwagon page, send a friend request. I'll make sure that it gets clicked really, really quick. And also, get your black behinds down there to the Profit of Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. That's right, the Profit of Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. We creeping up on 3,000, y'all. I cannot believe that it's 3,000. Almost three, because I think I checked today, it was like 2,700 or 2,750, something like that. I cannot believe that 2,700 of you are in my fan group. I am humbled, I am honored, and I have to ask this question: what's the matter with you people? But yeah, get on down there. Join the Profit of Thought Series fan group. request to be a member. You'll get accepted quick. Like I always say, I mean, you just don't see my shit down there. You see other people in the group shit down there. You know, other people post and stuff like that. So you don't have to listen to old X just talk shit all the time. You got other people down there talking shit too. So get on down there and check out the old Proper Thought Series fan page on Facebook. Also, hit us up on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Proper Thought on Instagram. Follow me. You guaranteed to get a follow back when my ass get around to checking it, which I have been doing more often. Yeah, I've been checking Instagram a little more often. So you follow me, you guaranteed to get a follow back. Also, get your behinds down there to the Twitter page. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, because if you don't, I'm going to haunt your black asses in your sleep for the next 6 months. So get on down there to the Twitter page and check us out. Also, get on down there to the website, www.don'teventryi't.wikifoundry.com. That's www.don'teventryi't.wikifoundry.com. There's always some good stuff down there. You can catch up with the U4 down there as well. Read a little short bio about them and see their gift video elements, because each one of them have a page. So you can get on down there and catch up with the U4 as well. And of course, my black ass is down there too, and you can see some of my old archives and some of my videos and some video links. And also make sure you stop by the old tribute to the fallen page. This is something I've been touting a lot. It's very important to me, and I have been getting y'all pictures. Y'all go, because I know some of y'all have been sending me pictures. Go on down there. I've been putting them up. I put some up today. I also put some up the other day. So keep them coming. You keep sending them to me. I'll make sure they get up on the tribute to the fallen carousel, so they can be honored on that carousel as long as X's ass is around. So make sure you send me a picture and send me the name so I'll know who it is, so I can put the name up there to go along with their picture, and I will make sure it gets up on the old tribute to the fallen carousel. So keep them coming. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming up, checking us out, stopping by, spending some time with us tonight. And I also want to thank the Unicorn for T.L.O.T, minus Lady Cats, Lady Classic, Lady Kendra, and Lady Ming, the U4. And I also want to thank my mystery honorary unicorn, Miss Ashley W, for coming through and spending some time with us. She was on another hangout and stuff like that earlier, so I know she was tired, so I know she had to drop out, but I appreciate it, Lady Ashley, for coming through as my mystery unicorn, because I know y'all didn't know who I was gonna bring. But anyway, make sure you have
the other one gonna be.
Nora P. I don't think y'all know Nora P. Nora P is, she's part of the TPOT extended family. If you go to my archives, you will hear Nora P on a video we did called the Classy Clapback, when this lady Miss Classy, I believe her YouTube handle was. I mean, she went in on us, man. She went in on us. And, I gathered up Nora P and teacher Tanisha. And of course, we clapped back on Miss Classy. So go check out the Classy Clapback, and you actually can hear Nora P, because Nora P actually brings us in on that video. So, yeah, Nora P from Atlanta, Georgia. She's part of the, extended TPOT family. Yeah, she was supposed to show up tonight too, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But yeah. So, always keep some surprises for y'all, keep some surprises. Keep you thinking. Cliffhangers. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through. I especially appreciate the U4 for coming through. Make sure you have your black behinds here next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, for another lit show. Listen to T.L.O.T, drop some more jewels and some knowledge, and give you some experience, and hopefully your black ass has learned something from the things you heard from these ladies here tonight, because I know you don't learn shit from me, because all I do is talk shit. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming through, and on your way out, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're feeling generous on your way out, make sure you hit this here. Okay? Make sure you hit this here. See that right there? Next to those that yellow line that says the Proper Thought series. So I want you to hit that on the way out and hit this here like button on the way out, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Anyway, good show, ladies. As always, I will see everybody next week. And with that, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do. Well, as a matter of fact, I'll let Teach tell you.
Open your mind.
We out of here, y'all.
All right, good night.
All right, y'all.
Good
So
night.
next week, here's
Open your mind.
Peace, folks.
Open your mind.
Lady Kendra, Lady Cat, Lady Ling, the unicorn four.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Only from T.